It's great to see everybody here. We have a lot to go over, so I'm going to probably get started like right away. So much to talk about. Happy New Year.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Alan. Okay, so it's 1 o'clock, and if people are going to get here late, well, then that's tough cookies for them. Evil laugh. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to I almost said February. How crazy. January 2025 Transparent Advisor Meetup. And I am Sarah Grillo for those who do not know me. Now, first thing is, if you have any auditory issues, you can always just caption this webinar by clicking the CC at the bottom of the screen. If anybody requires any other accommodations, such as language translation, restriction on flash photography, etc., please go ahead and send me a DM during this webinar. No AI on this meeting, please. I always say that, but then somebody always tries to sneak in. Okay, don't do it. Thank you. Now, the next meetup is going to be with Alan Roth. It's on February 12th. And there's actually going to be a reporter there, which is going to be really cool. It's Tobias Salinger of Financial Planning Magazine. Cha-ching, cha-ching. So Tobias is going to be observing the meeting and writing an article on it. So if you don't want to be possibly quoted in Financial Planning Magazine, please remain quiet on the meetup. Or if it's really that much of an issue to you, then maybe consider not attending. Sorry. I'm trying to do all I can here to encourage attendance, but if it is that much of an issue, then just altogether, just watch the replay. Sorry. Now, Eileen, are you there? I see you. Hi. Okay. I'm actually going to turn it over now, Eileen. Don't talk too long, okay? Because I'm going to buzz you after 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes, Eileen.
Wait, but for 1 minute, I actually have a really important message. I am putting United Policy and nonprofits link in here. Anyone involved in LA with the fires, or you want to volunteer, or you just want to learn more about helping fire victims and disaster victims, please look at this website. And for disclosure, I was previously on the board. It's a nonprofit. I've led groups of volunteers in there to do this kind of work. Okay. So I have to put that there based on what's happening out in LA, and my heart goes out to everybody.
All right. Well, I didn't know you were going to do that.
I didn't either. Okay. I didn't either. It just dawned on me this morning, and I'm taking that as one of my minutes.
Amen. Thank you. Eileen, go ahead.
My other minute, though, is just to let everyone know, many of you know me from various places. I'm the managing director over at Garrett. I'm going to post, I won't put Garrett's website, but on Garrett's website, we have announced I'm going to be leaving. So there's an open position for a managing director of the Garrett Planning Network. For those who don't know, I came out of retirement. I was one of the original Garrett members, and we had a transition where Cheryl sold the network to its membership, and there is so much going on there. So, thank you, Sarah, for letting me announce that to this group. On the Garrett Planning Network website is a little link that says we're hiring. It's all about the role and the position. And I think the network and what Sarah's doing so similar on the like-mindedness of bringing fee-only fiduciary transparency out to consumers. So if it's of interest, please know it's there. And I'm leaving solely because I came out of retirement. I've been there for 18 months. It's time to turn the reins over to the next group that's going to help lead the organization. And I am staying on. There is separately a nonprofit, the Cheryl Shold, the GPN Alliance. I'm still an Alliance member.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta buzz you, Eileen. Sorry, I gotta buzz you here because we gotta get on to Alan, okay? Okay, thank you so much. So listen, everybody, please tell your networks if anybody is interested in maybe leading the Garrett Planning Network or knows anyone that would be awesome for it. In the transparency movement, we're only as good as our leadership. And it's up to us to make this happen. So Eileen, thank you for your announcement. Now, I just want to also take a minute and talk about the immersion. So a lot of you that are here have already registered for immersion, but I want to talk a little bit about the Virtuepreneur, because it's this idea that came to me. And it's this idea of what would it look like? How different would businesses really look? Would practices really look if we built them on virtue instead of profits or sales goals or revenue drivers or any of those things? All right. And here are some just very inspiring quotes. And if you have not signed up for immersion, I want to encourage you to think about going, okay? Because these are some of the things that people who are going to immersion have said, okay? Practices built on virtue. Logic, right? I'm holding myself out as a planner because the key driver of value for my practice, what I'm saying the value driver is financial planning. So therefore I'm basing the fee on planning and time and effort to construct a plan instead of how big the client's portfolio is or how much money they make, right? Clarity. I'm going to send you an invoice at the end of the month so you're clearly informed, it's transparent about what the fee is that you're paying me instead of having the assets debited out at the custodian. Advocacy. I'm going to teach you how to make trades in your account so that you can pay me only for the value adding services that I'm providing instead of the stuff that I outsource to the TAMP while I go golf. Diligence. I have to earn the right to charge you for the work I do instead of parking your assets in a TAMP. Temperance. I don't need to take more than is justified by the work that I put in, regardless of how much money you make or have saved in your portfolio. And lastly, humility. This is a big one, and I see this all over the place in our movement. I'd rather focus on being more effective, logical, and fair to clients rather than boasting about how big my company is, okay? Who do you want to be, people? Who do you want to be as a financial advisor? Because the people that you surround yourself by are the people that you end up being. It's the people that you end up thinking like, because you make decisions based on influences and things that you hear and see and examples that you see. Surround yourself with good. See, I sound like a mom here. I was just telling my kids this today about like you should have seen them last night, by the way. Okay. You don't even, I have 4 kids, all under 11 years old. You don't want to know, people, what I go through on a daily basis. Anyways, what I'm saying is it is true. Okay. I think I've personally become a better person. You know, hey, I still got a heck of a way to go, but I think that I've become a better person by being around all of you. And that's what immersion is about. It's about direct contact with the people who are influencing you to inject virtue into your practices and into this industry. So having said that, here's one of my colleagues in the transparency fight. He's helping you take over the internet. Let's learn how to make all of our businesses blow up on Google. Alan Slider, welcome, Alan.
Hi. Sarah, thanks for having me back again here. All right, can you hear me? Am I good to go? Give me a thumbs up. All right, so thank you again for the invitation. Happy New Year to all of you here. So I'm Alan Slider. I'm the founder of Fee Only Network. We are in our 13th year of working to help put fee only and fiduciary advisors at the front and center of the internet, individually and collectively. I'd love to tell you how we do that and more details about our service. And I'll drop a link here to where you can reach out to me if you want to. I'm going to get started here. Sarah asked me to present on a lot of things, SEO being one of them. So I'm going to share my screen for now and go through a few things. And then eventually, we're just going to kind of take your questions and I'll give you some tools here to be a little bit more interactive with me. All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, are we good there? Do you see the transparency meetup slide?
Yes.
All right, so we'll get right to it. I noticed a few minutes ago that the headline on the invitation today was that I'm going to be talking about how to get a website that rocks on Google. That's the first time I saw that headline. I like it. That is ambitious. And we're going to be talking a lot about SEO, and I'm going to do my best here to answer all of your questions. I'm going to start by kicking things off with just a few ideas and some checklist items that have to do with optimizing what I consider to be really the most important pages of your website. And that goes for both search engines and humans. So last fall, I did a very lengthy presentation for XYPN about optimizing the most important pages of your website. in a way that not only is going to benefit you and your prospecting, but also work towards how your online visibility actually contributes to the power of the fee-only movement. So a lot of what I presented then, I'm going to use today, but I'm reframing it in a way that is very specific to this group, considering your fee models and your planning first approach. So also, I've had the opportunity here to review the websites of almost everyone in this group. So what I'm going to be talking about today is going to be as specific and relevant to you as possible. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to pass to you a QR code where you can download the document that summarizes that presentation in full and gives you quite a few checklists to help you better optimize your websites. So let's see here, your questions are going to guide a lot of the time here. So if you have specific questions about your website, then let's look at it together. If there's something that you are doing with your online marketing that's working for you, share it with me. We can discuss it. We can dissect it. We can see if we can find little ways to maybe work it better. So this is really a brainstorming session that everyone's included. So the goal here is to identify some challenges and opportunities and then work through them in a way that hopefully inspires you to take some small steps that can help move the needle on the effectiveness of your website. I tend to get lost in the Zoom comments in the interface here while being the presenter. So to help things kind of flow smoothly, I'm going to drop a link in the comments to a very simple form where you can submit your question and your website to me, and that I'll see it here directly in real time, kind of in a line item on my second screen as opposed to scrolling through comments. So if you want to ask a question about your website, go for it. Be aware though that if you provide me your website and ask a question about it, I'm going to share it. We're all going to look at it together. I'm not going to roast you on your website today unless you want me to, but we'll at least be able to kind of look at issues you might be having in the context of how we can help everybody do a little bit better. So I'm going to drop this into Zoom. Give me 1 second. All right, so that is coming up here. Okay, so there's the form. And it's a very simple, like 2 or 3 field Google form. It's just going to help me keep questions organized. All right. So do you all still see, I've got a lot of screens happening here. Do you see somebody just give me a thumbs up if you see the screen for web page and home page? All right, perfect. So we're going to start with your home page. And this is an obvious place to start here. Your home page is, it's your handshake, it's your front door. It is intended for both prospects and Google. Your homepage should have enough useful content on it for visitors to read and stick around. And that's important. Having content to read is the starting point for getting people to hang out on your homepage. Google can tell that. It's a little bit like the small talk that you have before you get down to business. Make sure that you have bottom line content up front on your homepage. And I'm talking about things like who you are, what you do, who you do it for, why you should be trusted, and then how to talk to you, a very clear call to action, because that is where the magic happens in the initial conversation. You can have an extensive website, but you want to engage that customer, that potential prospect, by getting them a very specific call to action to talk to you. And the content ideally should be in that order. Something that I see quite a bit is an attempt at a minimalist homepage design that leaves people in search engines kind of guessing on exactly what you do. So when you explain what you do in plain English and who you do it for and why you do it and who you are, you're naturally going to have content that search engines can understand and consider it to be useful. So the SEO, in a lot of senses here, kind of takes care of itself. So there are some nuances to that. You don't and shouldn't have to say everything on your homepage, but do give enough content where it can be considered useful to visitors and search engines, and then you want to link to supporting content that lives on your internal page. You also want to include some trust indicators right on your homepage, and these are simply visuals that signal credibility. This can be designation logos that you have, certifications, industry affiliations, industry recognition. It can also include some client testimonials if you're into that and you choose to do that. These trust indicators are important because most people who arrive at your website are skeptical. So you want to kind of give them some little trust nuggets along the way to feed on to help them start to see that you are credentialed and trustworthy. Something that I see probably more often than not are
Alan,
websites.
can I just say something before you go on?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's me, Sarah Grillo, everybody, okay? So financial advisors, you are so rare. The search engines are looking for people who, there is blue ocean. I am a flat fee advisor in New Orleans. I am a flat fee advisor in Boise, Idaho. I am a flat fee advisor serving Philadelphia and Metro Philadelphia area, okay? I'm advice only planner, blah, blah, blah. The search volumes for these are growing. They are growing, okay? Please include these phrases on your homepage and let them know right away. Fee only RIA firm. These are, don't just write things about like, I'm here to help you to preserve your wealth with dignity and blah, 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 okay? Trigger the search engines right away. You are flat fee, advice only, hourly, whatever you are. This drives me nuts. It drives me up the wall, financial advisors, okay? Especially you, because your services are in demand. I get people coming to me to find you. They come to me because I'm the one with the listings. Why can't they find you?
Well, you want to satisfy the number one rule of search, and that is if you want to be found on something, you actually have to be about it. You actually have to have content about it. So, to reiterate the point, come out and say on your homepage who you are. If you're a solo advisor, have your name. What you do, you are a financial advisor, you are a financial planner. Who you do it for. If you serve doctors or teachers, say it. If you have a niche, say it. Where you do it, you actually want to say, talk about your location. Even if you live in the middle of nowhere, location is still an indication of credibility, and having location search terms right on your homepage, that signals to Google that you are a local business and you're in business. So even if you live in the middle of nowhere, just come out and say that you live in the middle of nowhere. You can serve clients locally if it makes sense, but you primarily work virtually. So yeah, make sure that you have enough content on your homepage to where the search engines can figure out who you are, what you do, and where you do it. So thank you, Sarah. That's so important. And that's really the number one reason why a lot of smaller firms aren't ranking, is simply you're missing the opportunity to be very upfront with plain English, with good content on your homepage. Another thing that I see probably more often than not are websites that have a call to action that is a button that says something like, let's talk or schedule a call. These are great. People expect them. They seek them out. But in a lot of cases, I see these buttons linking directly to a calendar app with no context. So I get it that scheduling a call is probably your preferred first contact from prospects. However, If that button makes your visitors leave your website and go directly to calendly.com, then what you're doing is you're telling visitors and search engines that the most important thing that someone can do on your website is to leave it. So go to your website, click your call to action. If your web address at the top goes to calendly.com or OnceHub, then you're sending search engines off of your website, telling them that that's what they should be doing. So the idea here is to give your call to action, get it to go to almost like an intermediary page. And that's just a page that gives context about that call to action. If your call to action is to schedule an initial meeting, then you should be linking to a page that has plenty of detail about what that meeting will look like. How will it take place? Give them the option of phone or Zoom. How long will the meeting last? How do they need to prepare for it? What questions are you going to be asking? Can their spouse or partner join them? If the call is going to be recorded for their benefit, then let them know. So give them as much information about that initial meeting as you can on a dedicated page, and then present your calendar or your calendar button there. So that page is missing from most everybody's website that I looked at among the people who are in this group. So consider adding that page that details what specifically that call to action means. That is your chance to set expectations about the meeting and get the prospect comfortable with taking the next steps to schedule a call. So I'm going to go back to the homepage slide here real quick. And this is something I touched on where you want to give some clear indication about your location and even your preference to work virtual. Again, I said that location is an indication of credibility, and clients want to know where you're from. So even by including a little bit of location content on your homepage, you're helping the search engines to understand where you're located, which can play a significant role in how your website comes up in search. Again, even if you live in the middle of nowhere, still have something there that indicates where you are based out of and that your preference is to work virtual. All right, we got a couple of questions coming in. They seem fairly general, so we're going to save those towards the end here. I'm going to move on to the next page that is, I think, very critical. So this is a must-have. I have been preaching about the importance of a dedicated FAQ page for over a decade now. And I'm very happy to see that a lot of advisors are including this. FAQ pages are really a unique asset to your website that can get prospects most of what they're looking for from one place, while giving you a structure and a platform to address common objections. It also gives you a chance to set a pretty high bar for transparency and clarity. So what makes a good FAQ page? Number one is have one. They're easy to create. Give it its own page. Don't just stick a few FAQs on your about page or your home page. You want to have a page that is linkable and shareable. So you want to have something that you can send prospects a link to so that they can get their questions answered. The FAQ page should be about your services, how you work, who you work with, and how you charge. So you don't want to get into like a financial FAQ here. These are strictly like technical questions about what you do, how you do it, how you get paid. This also sets up a structure that works well for including links within your answers to other relevant pages on your website. So for example, if you ask the question, how do you get paid? You can give a very brief answer and say hourly or flat fee, and then you can link that answer to another internal page of your website that might give more detail. I'd recommend that you use a personal tone for your FAQ, especially if you're a solo advisor. Your answers can even have a conversational tone to it, just like you're sitting across the table answering someone's questions. So there are a couple of questions that you should absolutely include within your FAQ. The first is, how do you charge for service? You can give a brief answer here to just come out and say it. If you're hourly, flat fee, retainer, project-based, whatever, give a brief answer. And then again, you want to link that to more detail. And we'll talk about having a dedicated fees page here shortly. Another question to ask and answer is, are there any investment minimums to work with you? So I suspect in most cases, just knowing the group here, your answer is going to be no, exclamation point. But this is an important question that can help differentiate your firm right up front. So you guys should love answering that question. AUM firms love to answer that question as well, because most of them do have minimums, and it can help filter out prospects that might not be a good fit. But you guys should be answering that question, specifically asking about minimums, because it gives you a chance to set yourself apart. Most people, or many people, may assume that just because you're a financial advisor, you do require a certain amount of investments. So this is just a killer chance to explain how you're different. Then you want to conclude your FAQ with a call to action. So something like schedule a free consultation, let's talk. So something there that can get people to whatever step you want to take them next.
Can I just say something, Alan? Okay,
sure.
Everybody, it's me, Sarah, again. It boils my blood. It incenses me. Then when I see people in the transparency movement who don't have their fees on their website, or that you say, I'm a flat fee advisor, and then you don't say what the fee is. Okay? Do it. Go check your website right now and be like, do I say that I'm a flat fee advisor or hourly advisor or advice only? And can the client tell within 3 seconds what the fee is? Because we need that verification. Understand, we are in the minority. We are the small, rare amount of advisors who do this. So you want to make this a distinguishing characteristic that is visible right away when they come to your website. I have no idea why some of you dance around this topic. I just have no idea. If you're worried about not being able to validate yourself or not being able to show your value before presenting the price, that is an industry myth that I think has been perpetuated by the opacity, by the opaque players. Do not act like an opaque player and then call yourself a transparent advisor. Okay, do one or the other. If you're not comfortable disclosing your fees, stating what you do, and presenting the case for working with you, that's a bigger question than then don't have a website at all. If you can't market yourself with confidence, either talk with me, I'll beat you up individually, one-on-one, and we can fix it, or go work for AXA Advisors and sell whole life policies.
That's a great segue. I actually have talk about a dedicated fees page here. So we'll get to that. You know, another page to have, and this is something that I am probably the most passionate about, and one where collectively I think there's room for improvement, is having a dedicated page that explains in your own words what it means to be fee only and fiduciary. So this is a must-have, and I'm using all caps here because I'm speaking loudly. Having a dedicated page that explains what it means to be fee only and fiduciary is critical, because there are two types of prospects that you're going to meet. There are those who understand fee only and fiduciary, and there are those who do not. So when someone is informed, or they're informed by you, no matter where they end up, they're going to be less likely to go the way of a broker dealer who's going to sell them insurance. So when they really need comprehensive planning. So if you become the educator here, or even the reinforcer, then it's good for you, and it's good for everyone. And I see the spectrum. I see websites that just have the word fee only and fiduciary within their tagline, and then nothing more. Other websites might have lengthy explanations that can cause confusion or just be presented in a way within a wall of context that it doesn't even get read. So the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. I recommend having that on a dedicated page so that it's linkable and shareable, and explain what it means to be fee-only and fiduciary and why these two attributes are really non-negotiable when choosing a financial advisor. And this is one of those things that goes back to your online visibility powers the fee-only movement. When someone visits your website, they're probably going to visit that page and they're going to learn something. So no matter where they go, even if they don't choose you right away, or even if they go off to look for another advisor, we want them to have that at top of mind. That's what changes the industry, is when people get educated on those two things, fee only and fiduciary, then why would they go to someone else who's ultimately just going to sell them something that they might not need?
Alan,
So
can I jump in for just for 1 second?
yes, I can.
Yeah. Hey, Alan, it's good to see you. It's been a little while. I just want to underscore what Alan has said, and not that anybody here would suggest I would think otherwise, but I absolutely believe that it is undervalued even among this group or like-minded groups. And when I say that, I look around and I see very well-known individuals who basically either who basically either downplay or ignore the issue of fee only and fiduciary, and have determined that it no longer needs to be advocated and educated about and understood. And I think that's absolutely wrong. And I think, as I said to start, generally there's an underappreciation. Just one final note. Some of you may remember about 6 or 7 years ago, there was a great sort of off piece in the Wall Street Journal by a writer who said that she asked her broker advisor how much she paid, and she went into the whole article to explain it took them days and days and days to come up with an answer, and they still didn't come up with an answer. And I think that makes light of it, but the degree to which normal people are bewildered, are don't understand why it's so difficult for most advisors slash brokers to answer that question, I think is underappreciated. Anyway, love what you're saying here, Alan.
Thank you, and well said. So a good way to kind of reemphasize what it means to be fee-only and fiduciary is, again, to make it yours. Show the passion behind it. Some ideas for that would be to include a personal quote on that page. You can do an infographic. I even recommend like a short form video where you come on and you say, this is what it means to be fee only. This is why I've chosen this model for the firm. This is what it means to be fiduciary. This is the difference between our firm and most any other advisor out there. So you can also take that time, if you do a short form video, you can highlight your fee structure and explain how that backs up your commitment to fiduciary and fee only. Make that page shareable. Again, give it a dedicated page. You can post about that page on your social outlets. You can share the page with prospects very early on in the process. If you reject a prospect, share that page with them, encourage them to only seek fee-only advisors. If a prospect rejects you, share that page with them. If a client leaves you, share that page with them. The important thing is you want anyone to go out wherever they find a financial advisor is to have them only go down the path of selecting one that's fee only and fiduciary. So I think that this page is perhaps the single most important page of your site to differentiate, to educate, and to demonstrate your ethics and your transparency, and show that you're not only looking out for prospects, but you're looking out for investors as a whole. There are also a lot of SEO benefits with the page because people are absolutely now searching specifically for fee only and fiduciary with intent. So your online visibility, the online visibility of fee-only fiduciary advisors collectively, it is working. People are not just searching for financial advisor. They are looking specifically for fee-only and fiduciary. You have to talk about it on your site. You have to explain it. You have to be a resource about it. That's how you're going to get more visibility for it. All right, moving on to a fees page. So again, you want to have a dedicated page, not just in passing, but a dedicated page that talks about how you charge. This is especially important for advisors that use their fee structure to differentiate themselves, which is you guys. If you have a niche, have a dedicated page about it. If you don't have a niche, your fee structure is your niche. So do you have to say exactly what your fees are? You don't have to. I'm going to leave that up for you guys to debate. You don't have to show a dollar sign, but you should give as much detail as possible as to how your fees work and how they benefit the client and what an engagement is going to look like with you. If you don't show the actual dollar amount on your site, then you want to make that clear that that's going to be addressed right up front in the initial meeting, and then give the appropriate call to action from there. So a page like this, it does play a role in your search engine optimization, since you can discuss in detail how hourly fees work or how flat fees work, which are relevant keywords to your website. So keep the page very useful for people. Keep the language simple. Just explain to people how you get paid, the benefits of that fee structure, and then how it plays a role in your overall value proposition. So we're going to open this up for questions now. I hope you guys found some inspiring things here in what I think are the 3 most important pages of your site to optimize. And again, that is your FAQ page, fee-only and fiduciary page, as well as the page that details your fees. If you are missing any one of these pages, I recommend that you add it to your website. It is not only going to benefit your visitors, but the search engines are also going to see that your website is growing both in depth and in breadth. I put up here the QR code so that you can download the full guide that we put out last fall. If you scan this on your phone now, you can simply drop in your email address. It's going to send you a link to the download. We're going to open up for questions. I've got a couple that came in while we were going through some things here, and we'll jump on those, but get your questions in here.
Yeah, so okay, before we just start, I just want to say something, okay, to everybody. This works. SEO works. That there are people that have come to me because I keep these lists, flat fee advisor list, advice only list. And I heard from like literally 4 people last week. I think it's just because it was the beginning of the year. There was a huge push. But if you're doubtful about this working, I want to tell you that you're wrong. If you're not doing this, you are fighting with one arm behind your back. That you can have people coming to you when you're not even doing anything. It's like a dividend. It's like a dividend stock. Like you buy it and then it just pays the dividend over time. Okay. Past performance is no guarantee. Just kidding. But what I'm saying is, please do this. If there's any roadblocks to you doing this, can you email them to me? Just email me and we'll have a discussion about it, and I'll recommend resources. I mean, Alan is giving you free resources. I just don't know what else to tell you. Okay. You could definitely do this and it will definitely work. This is a no-brainer. And if anyone has any problems with getting this done, I want you to email me. Don't worry. I'm much nicer one-on-one.
All right, we got a couple of questions that came in here. So use the form that I put the link out for to ask the question. It's just difficult for me to pull up the Zoom comments here. You can also use that form if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me about your website or about Fee Only Network. Just drop your name and your email address in the question box, and I'll reach back out to you directly. First question. that came in here is about AI, and it is about the best ways to get indexed and mentioned in LLM conversations. So what that is if you use ChatGPT, or even on Google, when you type in a question or a search, you're getting this generative answer where AI is pulling in resources from other websites and kind of giving those websites a little bit of credit for the answer, but not sending people directly to that website. So how is the best way that an advisor can maximize the odds of being mentioned by one of these tools as a resource for specific services like student loans or equity compensation? So this is very similar to just old school search engine optimization. From what I can tell, the content that Google and ChatGPT is pulling from is it's from the same websites that Google tends to favor. And a lot of that has to do with the domain authority of the website. One of the websites that comes up all the time for if you Google like any financial topic, if you're looking for a definition of something financial related, you're probably going to see Investopedia, you're probably going to see Smart Asset. These are some of the largest websites in the world with the biggest budgets to get the most backlinks. So they have teams of people dedicated to making Google really like their site. And it's annoying because it works. But yeah, getting your website, getting your resources to come up in like LLM conversations, it really does start by following just very good SEO practices to begin with, and that is become a resource. If you want ChatGPT to use your content as a resource, then you've got to be the best resource out there. You have to cover whatever topic it is extensively. You have to provide assets about it that people want to share, that people want to link to, that get discussed in social media. And that's really the key. And it's not easy because of the type of competition that's out there today. But yeah, getting your website mentioned by ChatGPT and pulled in from other AI tools and AI generated search, it does have to do with really just basic SEO principles at this point. Stephen, I appreciate that question. Did that answer your question? Give any insight? I welcome your feedback or additional questions.
Yeah, kind of confirmed what I was thinking. Thanks. I, I don't know if it's going to change over the future, and that there may be things that we can do differently or in addition to general good SEO practices. But yeah, that's been my impression too. Exactly what you said. It's basically the same as it's always been. It's just they're running you through a different route is all.
Yeah, and I think you're always going to see the biggest websites in the world that have the biggest following. I think they're probably always going to be the ones who come up within that. Yeah, keep producing content, keep being a resource for those you serve is kind of the high level things to follow there.
One other thing I can add, I just did another follow-up question to ChatGPT asking for the names of specific advice-only financial advisors in California, and it gave me 4 of them with links to their websites and Google Maps. It doesn't just list general resources only; it listed specific individuals and firms.
That's great. I'd be curious to do that myself and see if we can tell if those websites are, better SEO optimized than most, and see if that might play a role in it. Next question are about resources to speed up mobile response time of a website. Getting low. So this person looks like you might be getting low scores on Google page speed. So yeah, Google definitely pays attention to mobile page speed. In fact, when Google indexes websites now, Google pretty much visits your website with like an older mobile phone on medium speed data, and you get judged by that. So you want to have a fast loading website. Some things you can do to improve your website load times would be having appropriately sized images. One of the things that I see most often that slows down advisor websites is like your bio page, where you've just taken the raw file that your headshot photographer gave you and you uploaded that on your website, or you uploaded that to your NAPFA profile or another profile that you've got out there. And that picture is like life size. It's like poster size. So large images absolutely slow down page load speed, because Google doesn't want to promote, and that can affect Google rankings. Google doesn't want to push websites that are going to suck up somebody's data or take forever to load. So that's one thing you can do, is make sure that your images are optimized for web pages and reduced down in size. There is the Google Page Speed tool. If you haven't seen it before, it's a free website. If you just do a Google search for Google Web Page Speed, it's probably #1. Pretty simple. You plug your website in there. Google will analyze it, either your site as a whole or page by page, and show you kind of how your page loads and what factors might be affecting ranking because of that. It can be difficult based on the framework of your site to improve speed. If you're using a third-party service like Wix or FMG or some advisor-specific service, then you're kind of at their mercy on their hosting and their platform, which can determine your page speed. But if you're on something like WordPress, there are some things that you can do to include your page speed. I'm not going to go through them all now. There is a very good document, I think it's on moz.com, about improving page speeds. Another thing that you can do is, if you're working with a webmaster, a lot of times that gets left behind as part of their service. They're more concerned with what your website looks like as opposed to how fast it is. So go back to if you have somebody who manages your website, ask them to do a page speed test and see if there's anything that they might be able to identify on the back end that could speed it up. Another question is, how useful are the SEO scores on sites like Ahrefs? Are they representative of how Google would rank you? No, I mean, most of the sites and the tools like SEMrush, Moz, Ahrefs, they have kind of their own way of determining a domain score. And there's a lot of factors that go beyond just that number as to how you're going to rank. You're going to rank higher for a non-competitive keyword than you are a competitive keyword. The higher your domain rank, in theory, the more likely you're ranked for a competitive search term. So it's a number to look at, but you're not going to be able to look at that number and tell how well your website is going to rank. All right, we've got our first website review here. David, let me pull your site up here. And we will do a little live review here. Let me figure out how I can. All right, there's my ending slide. I didn't get to show it to you. All right. All right, so this is 55plusretirementplanning.com. This is my first time seeing the site here. David's asking for a general website review. Let's just dive into it. One of the first things I'm going to do is, there you go. Book a consultation now. This was something that I mentioned. This takes visitors and search engines directly out of your website, right to Calendly, no context here. So to kind of go back to the recommendation I gave during the presentation, David, would be make this button go to 55plusretirementplanning.com/consultation. And on that consultation page, give as much detail as you can on what that consultation entails, and then have your book a calendar, your book a call button right on that page. So that's the first thing that I see here. You say the word financial 2 times on your homepage, and you don't ever say that you are a financial advisor or a financial planner. So the likelihood of your website ever ranking for something that has to do with financial planner, financial advisor are pretty slim. Again, you want to come out and say exactly what you do, where you do it in some right up front language.
This is some gold nuggets Alan Slider is giving out here, everybody. These are gold bars he's giving out for free.
We're just getting started. All right, David, another observation here is that your biography lives on your homepage. So because of that, Google doesn't know what this page is about. I'm just going to do a quick search here for your name. And as I suspected, your website does not rank for your name. You do, but you're way down here. So I would recommend giving yourself a dedicated biography page. So 55plusretirementplanning.com/David hyphen Pankey. Did I say that correct?
It's like a letter Q.
Pankey.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, you want to give yourself the infrastructure within your website to create what should become the most comprehensive and connected page about you on the internet. So you want to make sure that you talk about yourself appropriately. You do say some things here that I think are very interesting and beneficial. You host a local radio show. You are a contributor to the Journal of Financial Planning and MarketWatch.com. So you are worthy of an in the media page. So an in the media page it can be a part of your biography, but what you want to do is you want to link out to information that backs up what you say about yourself. So don't just say that you are featured on MarketWatch. You want to link to every MarketWatch.com article that has your name on it.
Okay, I have a question for you if you have a minute.
Yeah.
I actually was a speaker at the Money Show, and I used to link my video to that. Is that good or is that too much?
So you used to link to the video of that. Yeah, that's good. Again, you're organizing, and this is something that we do on Fee Only Network. What we do is when we build a profile page, we want it to become the most comprehensive, connected, and hopefully interesting page about the advisor online. And you should emulate our strategy. So what we do is we organize all the information that's out there about you that demonstrates your credibility, your industry involvement, your expertise, so that we're helping people not only to discover things about you that they might not find otherwise that contribute to their perception of you, but by linking to that information, you're also helping Google to connect the dots between information that signals trustworthiness and authority. And that just helps everything that has your name on it to rank higher for keywords that you would care about.
So you are suggesting multiple pages then, correct?
Say that again.
You're suggesting multiple pages than just this one landing page?
So I'm suggesting a dedicated biography page for you. So 55plusretirement.com/David Pankey.
Right.
And on that page, you want to have your picture, you want to have your biography, and then under your biography, you could even just do like a bullet point list. David has hosted a local radio show, Square Talk on the Market, and make the words Square Talk on the Market to be a link.
I won't show up.
To this right here. Do you see that Money Show page?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm sharing my whole screen. So that's the first thing you want to link to. You also want to link to, I'm guessing that you've got.
They're older ones though. I'll mark them off.
That's fine. If they're older, linking to them can bring them back up to the top and revive them. So I'm guessing, okay, so you've got a Market Watch link there. Here's another one. So yeah, you can just kind of line item all these in bullet points and link to them. You can't link to too many things that help you look better, because everybody's going to Google everybody today. And I'm a bit surprised that those pages aren't linking or are not ranking right now for your name. Those are things that you want everyone to see about you if they Google you. Everybody Googles everybody today. Prospects, clients, everybody's going to wants to see what's out there.
There are some financial advisors that don't even have their name on the website. Like I see, again, it drives me nuts. I see flat fee advisor websites. Hi, I'm Mark. I started my firm because I wanted to help people retire with dignity and grace and help them to achieve their comprehensive financial planning goals. No last name, okay? Your first and last name, everybody.
Yeah, one more observation here is that you don't have a traditional contact page. So your contact link right here in your footer actually just goes to an email. And I use Gmail, so every time I click on something like that, I don't even have it set. So I would recommend having an old school contact page. So 55plusretirementplanning.com/contact. And on that contact page, you want to have every way possible to contact you. You do a good job right now because you do have an email address available, a phone number, a calendar link. That's great, but you want to organize that in a way to where people are used to finding it. And typically it's on a contact link that would live somewhere in the top navigation. Google seeks out contact pages as an indication that you're a business and that you're in business. So you just want to help search engines and people find every way possible to contact you.
Okay.
All right, I know we're coming up on the hour here, and that's it for the questions that have been submitted. Anything else out there that we might be able to recover quickly? Or Sarah, if you just want to kind of close us out, I'll kick it back to you.
Okay, so ubersuggest.com, Neil Patel, type in ubersuggest, is a free service that you could use. You could do 3 searches a day, and you could find out what words you need to rank for. It's a keyword research tool. So just using the gold bars that Alan has imparted to us today and the free keyword search tool that I just put into the chat, you can SEO optimize your website and get tons of people coming to you. Okay, and I just put some research into the chat. Now, advice only, you can see what terms people are looking for when they look for an advice only person. They type in advice only financial. See, because they're common people. They're not like us. They're not the financial professionals that know that term. They're gonna type in the wrong words or words that are different from how we talk about ourselves. Or flat fee advisors. There were also a lot of flat fee. The flat fee volumes are growing. I mean, I've been doing this for a few years, and one of the new search terms is flat fee versus percentage. Again, see what I'm saying? It's common language. It's not how we would say flat fee versus AUM. That's what we would say, but they say flat fee versus percentage advisor. Okay. So use the keywords. If you don't know how to do this, send me an email. I have a ton of free content on this. I can answer your questions. But I mean, I can't make it clearer that the search volumes are out there. You may say, oh, well, those search volumes are so low. Okay, but if someone's specific enough to look for a flat fee advisor or an advice only planner, you're already in the small numbers. Or low fee financial advisor. Okay, that's another one that's coming up. I don't mean to overly emphasize the fee.
Have a dedicated page that talks about your fee. You can't say flat fee, hourly financial on it enough. You want to really drive that home to people who are looking for what you do on your website, and it just kind of works towards getting your entire website relevant for those search terms that people are seeking out now.
Right. And I don't mean to emphasize it like we're so different because of the fees that we charge. Okay. That's not the point. The point is about transparency, clarity, logic, advocacy, all of the virtues and the values that I mentioned at the beginning of this call. Enough said about that. But on the internet, in order to bridge the gap, in order to save the person at UBS that is paying $4,000 in commissions to somebody and he doesn't even know what he's paying for, or that he's paying $4,000, financial advisors have mercy on these people. It's not a nice thing. It's not just a nice thing to do. I'm going to be nice, or, oh, I don't need to be, I'm being greedy, going getting, no, you're not. You're saving them from the wolf. Save America, people, using Google.
All right, well, I appreciate everyone's time here today. Again, if you want to reach me directly, you can use the link that I dropped in to just drop your name and email in there, and I'll get it and reach back out. And Sarah, I'll let you close us out here if it's that time.
Thank you, Alan. That was so gracious. Hold on. How do I stop you from screen
Right.
sharing?
There.
Stop. There. Okay, good. Okay, everybody, look, I'm gonna wrap it here. Does anyone have anything to say? Is this like a good, useful meetup? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you like me? Do you hate me? Like, how was this useful or helpful at all? I hope so.
No, I think it was good, Sarah. It's good.
So, thank you. Okay. Thank you for all of you that are saying helpful. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So look, next month, it's going to be Alan Roth, who's an hourly planner. And we're going to have a reporter there so that we can make the transparency movement famous. I'm so excited. And also, like I said, there's no meeting in March because we're going to be at the immersion. If you haven't signed up for the immersion yet and you have questions about it, please talk to me. I mean, I know that conferences are an expense and it's time away, but myself being biased, I still think that you should come to the immersion. So if you haven't registered yet, please register. Amen. And that is it. We'll see you next month. Thank you, Alan, for being here.
Thank you.